My name is Ian Rice. I've got two children here at the Caledonia School District. It's very apparent here by all of the parents that have spoken that this board and the school district is failing. More importantly, I came here to talk about critical race theory. This theory was never meant to be brought into grade schools, high schools, at all. It's actually taught in the collegiate atmosphere, and more importantly, the legal portion of the collegiate atmosphere, to see different laws through the lens of race, from an ethics and an ethical standpoint, right? Not for grade schools and high schoolers. The problem with bringing it to high school and grade school level is that we don't have the educators to properly teach these kids. Instead, they're using it as their own agenda to indoctrinate the kids to hate each other. And whether you believe that to be true or not, the reality is that's what's happening. Critical race theory is teaching that white people are bad. That's not true. That would teach my daughter that her mother is evil. You already have an educator within your staff that has pulled my daughter aside and said, well, you're a minority, so you know better than to engage in certain things.
Wow.
Whoa.
When I was brought to the school's attention, nothing happened to the educator. Instead, my daughter was brought in, and she was ridiculed. So my question is now, with critical race theory being brought in, what is your criteria to educate the educators? And who are you to educate my children, or any of our children, in life issues? That's our job.
Yes.
Your job is to teach them math and science. Our job is to teach them about life. I believe racial issues and tensions across the U.S. are nowhere near what they used to be decades ago. Do we have a long way to go? Sure. Do we still have individuals out there that need to be taught? Absolutely. But I believe the people here don't look at me as a black man. They look at me as a man standing in front of you addressing the issue that we all are very passionate about.
That's right.
You're panicking. Here's a video I want to play for you. It's Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd's very upset that one of the commentators on this panel has stated the obvious, that this is a grassroots, parent-led rebellion against liberal ideology. Chuck can't have that because he realizes that creates what? What? Pop quiz. A messaging problem. Watch him correct it for the Democrats. Check this out.
Yeah, and specific to this idea of critical race theory, I have to tell you, I just spent some time reporting on this county in Virginia, about an hour outside of Washington. And to your point, this is something that is mobilizing people and resonating very deeply. It was about a 100-degree day. Dozens and dozens and dozens of parents, mostly white in this largely affluent county, showed up to a school board meeting. For many of them, the very first school board meeting they'd ever attended, specifically because of this one issue.
That's important to note, that you mentioned critical race theory a couple times. This is a parent-led backlash at the grassroots level.
And it's manufactured.
No,
and
it's completely.
And then sort of
elected
seems to have been lit. The fire was lit.
I disagree. Yeah. I think it started because parents have had it with the education bureaucracy after COVID. They're fed up with it. They tend to trust Democrats when it comes to education funding, but they trust Republicans on education accountability. I think that what the backlash you're seeing on critical race theory in schools is another example of parents trying to hold educators accountable.
That's a panel on NBC, the Nothing But Clinton network. Chuck can't have that, folks. He realizes it creates a messaging problem. He knows they have a terrible message teaching people to be racist in school. That's what critical racism theory is, teaching kids to be racist. He knows that's a message problem. So when a panelist on his show on NBC or MSNBC, whatever it was, states the obvious, that no, this is a parent-led rebellion. Parents are really pissed off at the message. Chuck has to do what he does as a full-time Democrat activist. He has to correct the messaging right there. Oh, no, this is all AstroTurf. This isn't grassroots stuff. This is all fake. Really? You have any evidence of that? Of course not.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.